Creativity Explored is an organization that provides arts, an art space, instruction, materials, and inspiration for artists with developmental disabilities. There's fashion going on, acrylic painting, watercolors, ink, gouache,
ceramics, Photoshop, prints, photography as well.
Anything an artist wants to do here, they will find someone to help them in that direction.
I like using different materials, and I'm using like different sizes of paper.
I'm very thankful because they accept me.
If you come here, you could see almost 1 million pieces of artwork.
I walked through the doors and immediately I was just immersed with the artwork and how beautiful and how magical the whole landscape is within this space.
Her idea revolves around community.
How do you bridge this community into the rest of the world? Here from There became a way to bring the magic that's built in here into the outside world.
I've been waiting for this for a long time.
I did a series of workshops where the first one, I went and bought all these old vinyls and spray painted them white. And I said, construct the album that is the autobiography of your life. They created the front of the album, having them tell us more about them by creating this album about themselves. I also brought in Leticia Hernandez, who is a Salvadorian poet, and she worked with some of the artists who are able to speak, pulling out some words and some stories to be able to use. And she also collaborated with the artists themselves, creating poems that use some of the language that she exchanged with them.
We were here in the studio and talking about community and home and family and inspiration and making work around that.
And it just became this fluid, organic relationship with the artist. The next steps are going to be to document their mark-making process because I feel that that's their strongest voice. We built these wooden frames that held vellum, and there's the transparent paper, so when artists would paint on one side, the transparency would show the brush strokes. You saw the energy. You saw how raw each movement was.
You could see artists at work, and it was really wonderful because so many artists were part of this.
And I'm glad that they collaborate with other artists.
The camera would be able to capture that process. The process allowed us to do was bring forth and amplify the voices that don't always get exhibited.
The work of Creativity Explored artists should be more widely known.
We did our first exhibition at Fort Mason where we literally took some of the drawings and we took them off the page. We created these very large three-dimensional sculptures where everything got painted white, and we were able to project and digitally map the sculptures and project the time lapses onto the sculptures. So everything became inundated through the artwork. There were performers that came, did tap dancing, spoken word, a musician.
There were beautiful videos on the walls which reflected a lot of the drawings that artists had done of home and how you feel about home and displacement, which was just stunning. There were large cutouts that were 5 to 10 feet tall. These were manufactured from drawings that artists had done.
Here from There had 50 artists that were at different points on loop.
Involved everybody. It had these multi-layers, which was unique. I hadn't seen that before. It was wonderful.
Within those 50 artists, they were over the moon when they were able to go to the opening.
I think many of our artists love to be in the limelight and love to show their work and be seen.
Having them be able to see their work in the world, participating in a different space that's not Creativity Explored was really special for them. It proves to people that it doesn't fall under a different category. It's part of the conversation in the art world. I think that their voices, their artwork is so strong and so moving and so powerful. This was able to prove that.
I would love to see this particular experience shared widely. I think it does a lot for people who are more able-bodied. There's not a lot of understanding about the talents and the abilities of people like the folks who are at Creativity Explored.
I'm always so surprised by the amount of magic and beauty that they bring forth in all their work, and I'm just excited to keep collaborating with them in any project. And so I hope more will come in the future.